Differentiating between raw and cooked. There are many ways to define literals. Of course, the kind of information that a literal affects is the most common method. However, literals can also be raw or cooked. A raw literal receives input from the application source and doesn't interpret it in any way. What this means is that the information is interpreted character by character precisely as the sender has presented it. Cooked literals interpret the sender's input and automatically perform any required conversions to make the data usable to the recipient. The easiest way to see this principle in action is through an example. The raw and cooked example shown in listing 2-2 demonstrates the technique used to create either raw or cooked string processing. Hi, Radinina. You are in a mood today. That's fun. Ooh. Okay. Okay. Listing 2-2 using raw and cooked string processing. Hash includes a string using needs to be standard int main auto cooked equals hello. In there. Hello there. Auto raw equals R. Hello there. See out cooked inline. See out raw inline. Most of the time, when you see the symbol with the backslash R backslash N combination, you know that the application will output a carriage return and line feed combination. This is the cooked method of processing a string. The string is interpreted as any escape characters converted into control characters, characters that are normally regarded as commands rather than data, such as the carriage return. However, notice how the raw string is created. The R in front of the string tells the compiler to create the variable without interpreting the content. Here's the output you see from this example. Hello there. Hello. Backslash R backslash N there. Remember. Notice that the cooked form does output the parentheses, but the raw form doesn't. The parentheses is required as part of the raw form input. As you might imagine, the cooked form outputs the backslash R backslash N combination as control characters, but the raw form outputs the actual characters. Working with the UDLs included in the standard library. Oh, Ryan just said, hello there, thought you were talking to the chat. Oh, no, that's just the authors having a sense of humor. Usually they're always saying, you know, every time that we went over some new thing, they are sort of hello there. I mean, hello world. So I guess they were just like, well, let's just say hello there instead of hello world. We probably already said hello world earlier. Working with the UDLs included in the standard library. Even though you can currently create UDLs for the basic types described in the Understanding the Need for UDLs section of the chapter, there are many situations where developers need UDLs for classes as well. In some cases, these classes are part of the standard library. Rather than have a number of non-standard implementations of these UDLs, the Standards Committee decided to add the UDLs directly to the standard library. You can read about all the gritty details if you want in the user-defined literals for standard library types at http://isocpp.org/blog/2013/4/blog/in3642 user define literals for standard library types. There are now consistent and standardized UDLs attached to some classes. The following sections describe the more important classes and show how to use them. Oh, thank you, Reiner Dina. That's very sweet. Standard : basic underscore string. The standard : basic underscore string class makes it possible to work with sequences of char-like objects. The class currently has templates defined for char, wchar underscore t, char 16 underscore t, char 32 underscore t. Hello, Stanley Sis. Thanks for saying hi. However, the class could easily be extended for other kinds of characters. In addition, the templates make it possible to specify character traits and the method used to store the data in memory. The essential idea behind the basic underscore string is to make it possible to accommodate a variety of character types within one character class to simplify coding. So now we have an aside. It says, obtaining standard library UDL support. Adding UDLs to the standard library is a new feature for C++14. In order to actually see this feature at work, your compiler must support all of the C++14 editions. Because some of these features require time to implement, your C++ compiler may not provide all of the standardized features, even if it prefers to provide C++ support. The GCC 4.7.1 compiler used throughout most of this book doesn't provide the required UDL support. However, the examples show how to simulate such support if you need it immediately. The GCC 4.8.1 compiler, which is currently unstable, provides some C++14 support. However, in order to obtain full support, you must wait for the upcoming GCC 4.9 compiler. So this book was published with the copyright date of 2014, so it's probably, that version's probably good now. The one they're talking about that wasn't good. Other compiler vendors are also creating the support required to fully implement C++14. For example, you can find the required support in the upcoming Clang 3.4 distribution. Visual C++ 2013 also includes some level of C++14 support, but Microsoft is currently working to implement C++14 fully. The bottom line is that you must ensure that your compiler actually provides the C++14 language support you need before these new UDL features will work. Alright, in C++14, the standard library includes built-in literal support for basic underscore string. All you need to do is add the suffix to a string to create one. However, it's important to get an idea of how all of this works behind the scenes. The basic string example in listing 2-3 demonstrates 3 techniques for creating a basic underscore string object. Listing 2-3, 3 techniques for creating a basic underscore string. Hashtag include iostream, hashtag include type info, using needs to be standard, string operator, underscore s, const char star str, unsigned len, return string str len, its main, basic underscore string char, standard string equals this is a standard string. Auto string equals this is an auto string. Remove comment when your compiler supports C++14. Auto UDL string equals this is a UDL string. Cout standard string inline type ID standard string dot name inline cout auto string inline type ID auto string dot name inline continued. Listening to dash 3 continued. Remove comment when... Remove comment when your compiler supports C++14. Cout UDL string inline type ID UDL string. Dot name inline return 0. Look, I have a feeling that there was a reason why there was a message held for review, and I have a feeling that's why Stanley Sisk was, you timed him out, and thank you. I appreciate your inner, Tina. This example performs 3 essential levels of conversion so that you can see the progression from one to another. In the first case, you see the straightforward method for creating a simple basic underscore string object, standard string. As you can see, it works just like any other template. The second case relies on a C++11 type operator definition to emulate the UDL that is included as part of C++14. The creating your own UDL section of this chapter tells you all the details about creating such an operator. All you really need to know for now is that the operator makes it possible to use a shortcut when creating basic underscore string objects. The third case shows the C++14 version of the same underscore s definition, but this one is built right into the standard library, so you don't have to do anything special to use it. In all 3 cases, you create the same basic underscore string object type, but the technique differs each time. When you run this example, you see the following output. Renardina. I agree with you. That's why it's flagged. That's why it was held for review. No, I'm good. I don't need anyone calling me sexy. It's really irritating, actually. I'm just here trying to read C++ All-In-One For Dummies. So that's why I'm saying thank you. I didn't even know that's what was said because, again, it got held for review. And if something gets held for review, I usually know I'm not trying to be bothered. So I appreciate your help with that, Reiner. I really, truly do. Output. This is a standard string S. This is an auto string S. This is a UDL string S. This output shows the mangled form of the name function output. The fact that all 3 strings are the same tells you they're the same object type. If you want to see the unmangled names, you can use the demangle function provided in listing 2-1. Technical stuff. There seems to be some confusion online as to how the raw and cooked versions of basic underscore string should work. In looking at the underscore s and s operators, the code already provides both raw and cooked implementations. For example, if you use the code with the underscore s operator, auto raw string equals r. This is a raw string. Auto cook string. This is a cooked string. Cout raw string inline. Cout cooked string inline. You'd see the following output. This is a \r\n raw string. This is a cooked string. The s operator works in the same manner. So you can use either raw or cooked strings with the same operator and receive the appropriate results. Standard complex. Renee said, okay, just wanted to make sure. Because you have people with blue wrenches that say that too. Huh? Really? I'm just confused right now, Dina. Who says that with blue wrenches? I've been missing this. This is an honest, genuine question. I should consider whether or not they should have blue wrenches. Because I think they're missing the point. Standard, complex. Spelled STD, COMPLEX. You may or may not remember complex numbers from school. A complex number consists of a real number and an imaginary number that are paired together. Just in case you've completely forgotten about complex numbers, you can read about them at http://www.mathisfun.com /numbers/ complex-numbers.html. Real world uses for complex numbers include electrical engineering, fluid dynamics, quantum mechanics, computer graphics, dynamic systems. There are other uses for complex numbers too, but this list should give you some ideas. In general, if you aren't involved in any of these disciplines, you probably won't ever encounter complex numbers. However, the standard library provides full support for complex numbers just in case you do need them. As with the basic string example, this example shows the progression from a standard declaration to the C++14 suffix. The complex number example in listing 2-4 demonstrates all three stages, so you can see how both the C++14 suffix and the C++11 UDL forms work. Listing 2-4, 3 techniques for creating a complex number. How to include IO stream, how to include complex, using use standard, complex double operator, underscore I, line double value, return complex double 0 value, into mean complex double, standard complex 0, comma 3.14, auto complex equals 3.14, underscore I, remove comment when your compiler supports C++14, auto UDL complex equals 3.1.4 I, 3.14 I, C out standard, C out standard complex dot real, standard complex dot img inline, C out auto complex dot real, auto complex dot img inline, remove comment when your compiler supports C++14, C out UDL complex dot real, UDL complex dot img inline, return 0. The example declares variables of all three types and assigns values to them. It then displays both the real and imaginary parts of the number. When you run this example, you see the following output. Time is almost up. I'm going to finish the... Oh, Rainer said did take screenshots to run my desktop. Okay. Okay. 0, 3.14, 0, 3.14, 0, 3.14. Remember, you can create three kinds of complex numbers. The following list shows the suffixes used for each type. I double, IF float, IL long double. Okay, that is it for reading time for today. I'm saying I had PG-13 was what's in the description. Okay, that's it for that. Okay. But yeah, they're already listed in the description. Whew. When it comes to the sorry, I'm just kind of mellowing out. It was a pretty pleasant day at work today, and even though I only did 10 minutes of yoga, that really kind of helped. And I was like super apprehensive, but then I heard from my boyfriend, so that helped. So I'm good, but I am gonna go, and I'm gonna get something for dinner, and I am hoping to do some Kingdom Hearts time before bed. That'd be nice. That'd be really nice. I do love me some Kingdom Hearts time, and we did enter the last world of the game, and just recently got the White Trinity, so there's some exploration to be done, but I don't really feel like doing exploration, like as far as like going back to previous levels and trying to get the things that I wasn't able to get to earlier. I don't really feel like doing that like today, but I will sleep tight when I'm ready, and it's not quite yet, right, Ardina? So I am hoping that if I do some Kingdom Hearts time, that you'll make it on over there. I'm planning to do that. What time is it right now? 5:30. So I'm planning on streaming like 7 to like 8:30 or something like that my time. Just a bit, because I still have to get up. Hey. I'll be glad to. I just have a few things I want to do before it's sleep tight time. So let me go ahead to the next thing on my list, which is dinner time. It's a good thing I had a pretty big snack, so um well, thank you, Renardina. Pseudo. Um, I don't know. Hi, Oppo. From your calendar. Look, all I can do is little girly push-ups. That's all I can do is little girl push-ups. From your calendar, Dr. Whitney, bra follow-up starts in 10 minutes. I'm 40 and I don't even know how to do a regular push-up. Okay. Alright, that's alright. Well, great. Thank you to anyone who I may have missed. I'm not doing push-ups here. I already did my strength training thing for today, and I am closing out the stream now. Ryan Ardina says you can only do girly push-ups because you're a girl. Duh. Anyway, I will eventually be working my way to push-ups, but I'm trying to keep things simple. And I already did some strength training thing today, and no, I'm not doing push-ups right now. So I assume that was a joke. 40? Apo Plesa? That would be 40. I am 40. Alright, on that note, feeling older and older and older constantly. thank you to anyone who might check this out in the future. Just continue with your, gosh. Right idea, just continue with your normal backflips, sweetheart. Okay. If you say so. But yeah. Random H's. I don't know what you mean, Oppo, with H's. I'm about to close down the stream now. Pseudo said reverse engineer a binary. We got so much interesting times when it comes to E++ 1-for-1. Look, pseudo. Literally, these streams are reading this book time. That's it. That's all it's about. I'm gonna go ahead and close out the stream. Whenever, wherever, however, whatever. Just make the most of it. See, easy? Okay. I would say that if you are the kind of person who is forgetful and doesn't like to get a bunch of messages because you forgot to put something somewhere, then Python is your best bet and would be like one being the least or the most easy. But C++, now if we're not C, that right there is what you call an 8. If you're talking about the least easy. But C++ is more like a 3. So and it just kind of depends on what you want to do. If you're just making a little simple program, then it's super easy. Anyway, coding in the future. Right now, finishing up this book time. Yay. But right now, I gotta close the stream. Well, I'm gonna end the stream. I'm gonna eat some dinner. And then later on today, before I go to bed, I'm planning on doing some Kingdom Hearts live stream. I just recently got to the last world, Hollow Bastion. And we're still trying to go ahead and find Kairi. Reinardina, if I do get some Kingdom Hearts time, and hopefully we'll check it out at least for a bit. It's really nice having you pop in to streams. As you can, of course, as your schedule allows. Anyway, go ahead and have another great day. I'm saying Reinardina, I kind of already am eating double dinner because I basically had a dinner for my snack. And then I had basically a double lunch. So I'm already at triple. See, we're already there. I already pretty much going to be having triple dinner. All right. Whenever, however, whatever, just make the most of it. That's the most important part. Huh? Except for Robo's channel. That's fine. It's no worries. Not a problem at all. Don't be sorry. Okay, thank you, Pseudo. You had to dance? That's awesome. I think that is so cool that you're out there, part of your team. What? No, I would not. Oh, Reinardina, you just got so many jokes. So many jokes. Also, I can't even. Like, there's just so many levels to take that, and I'm not going to, though. Gosh. Again, one of these days, I gotta see if they have Dirty Minds available for, like, the digital version of Dirty Minds, because That's a fun game right there. That'd be a fun thing to try to play. And I gotta do another Jackbox game stream. That was kind of fun. Sophie Rose channel, I don't even have a cat. Ryan or D is just joking. Just super joking. What is with the questions? Okay, Sophie Rose channel, what's your question? I mean, technically speaking, Dirty Mind, the game, the card game, is definitely PG-13 because the whole point of the game is none of the things are as dirty as they seem like. So I would disagree because the idea is you have to figure out. It just seems like it should be. It just seems like it should be, but they're just kind of trying to play on other people's. But that all is dependent on the person, though. If the person doesn't have all of that additional, Renardina, the lore is overwhelming. Why is it that Becky828 has lore? This is strange. What? Why is there? Too funny. I swear, we've just like, the improv is spreading. It's not even an improv stream and we're still having improv time. I know I should be yes anding, but I don't really know. Oh, see? Come on, Reinardina. I'm telling you, you should have picked like a parrot or something. Dang, alright. Oh gosh. Reinardina says, or you joke, a white horse fell in the mud. That's true. That's not wrong. Gosh. Just off the rails. Everything's off the rails. Alright then. Well, what happened to the lovely time we're having reading this book? Just went off the rails. Alright then, on that note, I gotta go, friends. I'm gonna go. No. No, Reinardina. That's not even the case. You're definitely a silly or a Billy, whichever your preference is today, but you're not that though. So I'm not saying it. Sorry. Alright. Bye bye.